Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about the MixMizer fuel mixing syringe and why all my chainsaw filters always look like that and are wet with oil fuel after, I don't know, an hour of use. Um, so first thing we're going to do is look at this MixMizer. So let's look at it. I've marked 40 to 1 and 50 to 1 on here. 40 is my most common. So you can see this is per quart. 1 quart of gas, and this shows you how much oil you need. And I extend that line over, and if I extend it over, for the 40 to 1, I get 26. For the 50 to 1, it's about 20 mil per. So 20 and 26. Well, let's go to my calculation charts. I'll pause for a moment. You can stop the video, check my math. Everything should be straight here. 128 ounces divided by 50 equals 2.56. 3.78541 liters divided by 50 equals 757 mil. And by the way, this is labeled cc and mil, same thing, liquid measurements. On the 40 to 1, we should be seeing 23.659 and 18.9, and instead what we're seeing here is about 20 and 26. So 20 and 26 instead of 18.93 and 23.659. Why is that? Well, let's check the gauge here. So 10, here's our 10 line. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so 2 mil per segment, right? Okay, let's look at the bottom here. So 0, we'll talk about the tip in a moment. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. So they are assuming that you are going to suck fuel up into this syringe. Everything in the tip's going to fall out. And that's how you're going to get to your number. Well, their numbers are still wrong, even accounting for that. But the point is, they don't account for the tip at all. And the way I do this, I pull the plunger out because these syringes don't fit down in these little containers. I pull the plunger out, put a glove on, put my finger here, dump the oil down in till I hit the right line, and then I hold the syringe over my mixing container and then, let go of my finger. So what's going on here then? So with my mixing method, that's another 2. So that means what I'm really mixing in a 40 to 1 is 28 mil, about just under 28 per quart. 28 versus 23. 0.6. That's quite a difference. So I think that's why I'm getting all this oil on my chainsaw filters. Obviously, there's debris and stuff sucked in, but that is clearly not wood dust, right? Stain. That is oil, right? That is oil. And there you can really see it on that one. Getting on the filter. So and then, the dust gets in it, I guess, and stains it. So that's what I think. Comments always welcome here. If anyone has any comments or suggestions. But I think the MixMizer is screwing me, right? And just for comparison here, these are medical syringes, these alternate ones I have. These are like for feeding tube patients. Unfortunately, I family member, my father, uses these. And they're spent after a week or so. The plunger gets a little messed up. Of course, oil brings them right back. And they're useful for me, but you can't, when you're putting water and liquids and stuff in here, they kind of get mucked up and then you're cleaning them off. But anyway, let's look at the measurements on these. And look, this is remarkably similar. I mean, the syringe, I don't know if you can see this, but the font, almost everything's identical on here. But let's look at the measurements. Again, start at 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so 2 per segment. Okay, so the bottom line here is 0, right? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, it's not. They account for the 2 mil that's in the tip. And I measured that there's 2 mil in the tip because, well, I filled just the tip of I think this one. And then I filled it up to about right here. and then I emptied it into another syringe that already had, I think, 10 mil of water in it, and it moved it to 12. And I did it again. I think I had like 50 mil of water, dumped the tip water in, and it moved it to 52. So there's definitely 2 mil in that tip. And definitely 2 mil in there if you're doing mixing the way I'm doing it. Now, I suppose if you're using the suction method of this syringe, perhaps when you take it out, the tip does lose its oil. So maybe this mixture's right. Maybe the MixMizer assumes that when you suction it out, you're going to lose even more in the bottom, and that's why they have you mixing so heavily, right? They essentially have you mixing 28 instead of 23.6. They're about 4 mil over. So I'm going to try this, and I will post another video. I'm going to try mixing to 23.6 using this, right? Not the MixMizer. I will use this, and I'm going to mark a line here at 23. Let's see, 22, 23. It'll be right here, right about here, and we'll see what we get. I might even use this syringe because it's a little easier to read. This one, by the way, you can see this is the same feeding, style syringe. A little bit smaller. You can see them side by side here. Smaller tip, and shorter. You can see this one starts, sorry, there's a little glare here. Starts at 0 to 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mil, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mil, right? So that's 1 mil ticks there. And this one, of course, with 0 assumes there's nothing in the tip. This tip, though, I haven't measured it. That's probably a mil, though. So it could be off by about a mil. So I might use this method instead. We'll see how it goes. But that's my conclusion on this MixMizer, which I've been using for years, and I just think it's not doing things right. And I'll show one more time. Here are my calculations. Yeah. Okay. Put in the comments if you have anything to share. I'd appreciate it. And as always, I'll appreciate everyone watching.